Okay, what I was just playing there is kind of an example of the next step in my approach to getting outside like Michael Brecker. I did a part one on this where we covered the first two pentatonic scales that we're going to substitute. In that example, the intro stuff, Mrs. Meacham from 12th grade or whatever it was would accuse me of run-on sentences, and she would be right. But I'm kind of trying to fully get the tone of the next two pentatonic scales we're going to substitute onto C minor by way of example. The first couple we looked at were B minor and C sharp minor. And we're looking at those as substitute, as a way of playing B flat altered to E flat. I'm going to play slower in this lesson because a lot of people said, you're playing so fast I can't figure out what you're doing. The next, what we're trying to do is figure out how to substitute every one of the 12 pentatonic scales or 12 key centers onto C minor, how to get outside in a way that we stand a chance of even whistling the most outside stuff, and most important, how to get back in a way that makes sense. So we looked at B minor, we looked at C sharp minor, substituting those onto a C minor. I would be remiss if I didn't say, if this content is good for you, hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons down below. There's going to be quite a bit more of this coming. Today we're going to tackle two scales though. We're going to add these to the C minor that we're kind of taking it outside on. First one is really easy. It's D minor. And the way I look at that one is just as a very simple substitution. If we're burning along in C minor, so people are kind of sitting with this, like maybe we're even doing fourth sonnet or something. I'm going to do a lesson on those voicings because they're super useful. But they're hearing like B flat, like classic C minor stuff. If you suddenly hit him with this, which is a C minor major 7, I'm playing it as a C13. G triad over the tritone down here, then right there you've already kind of freshened the harmony up a little bit. And that's one of the things that we're looking to do when we're playing on these modal tunes, is not just camp out in the key of C minor, but to take it some interesting places. D minor is a great place to take it, and I like to play a D minor 6th pentatonic sound on it. Right? Because that gives us that B on there, and that sounds, probably more exotic than it is. But when I go visit that one, I'm sort of just looking to just kind of splash an alternate tonality on there. If you want to hear another one that I like to put on there, and I'm going to do a lesson on this too, I like to voice the top half of a B flat minor major 7. Then back up to the C minor major 7. This should be pretty wrong, right? But again, it's a place to go that like darkens things up, and people aren't expecting it, and I love that about it. So the D minor sixth, I'll play a little bit, and I'm going to play at a more manageable tempo. And I'll have a transcription of this available on my Patreon page for free. Probably also put this nice C minor modal track on there too. It's kind of booking along at 140 BPM, a nice comfortable tempo. So the D minor is just a direct substitution. I don't have to have a little secret cadence in my mind to make that one work. That kind of thing. The next one is E flat minor. And again, I like to do this. We play the C minor, and then we play the sound of the scale as a block chord. That ain't so great, but it's a great place to visit to create some tension. And the way I look at this one is that mentally, I'm going to play a cadence of a C altered 7 to an F13. And F13 is basically, I look at it as the same thing as C minor. And so if we're playing like this, and we're using the E flat minor pentatonics, the E flat minor pentatonic as our scale for the C altered, that and C sharp minor sixth are really good scales to use on a C altered. So in my head, I'll be playing this. You can hear that I'm trying to kind of stick mostly to the notes of that E flat minor pentatonic. When the C minor, the bass player is cranking away on C minor, we don't voice this. Sometimes I do actually, just kind of give it, because this is another interesting place to visit. We're playing on C minor. Just kind of voice a C altered in there, and people are like, wow, what did he do? He's not just kind of playing away on C minor or C Dorian anymore. Like, this is a shift in the tone of it. And sometimes I'll go resolve down to an F13 voicing like that. But kind of looking at that E flat minor pentatonic as a key center, really. You can hear that I've got some chromatic stuff going in there, but sort of maybe the target notes are that E flat minor 6. So let me play a little bit here. I'm just going to kind of play a bit on my C minor play along track. I'll start out by kind of playing some C minor stuff, then I'll shift to that C minor major 7 with the D minor 6 chord on it, and then I'll start playing some with that thing with the E flat minor pentatonic on it. And I'll have a transcription of at least some of this available. Somebody pointed out that my keyboard, like the overhead here, was backwards, like I was coming down instead of up. So I fixed that. And I'm going to try to do this at a little bit more manageable tempo so that we can hear and see what I'm doing. Let's play a little C minor here. That's kind of quite clearly C minor. Now the E flat minor. Here's that weird voicing I was talking about. That was the B flat minor major 7, now C minor major 7. Now maybe so there I took the same voicing from here, you know, weird B flat minor major 7, C minor major 7, then up to maybe C altered 7. And I'm playing something that is an interesting sound, the pentatonics, an interesting sound over each of those altered chords as I go. But hopefully you could hear when I was doing that E flat minor that in my head it's just super simple. It's 5-1. And most of my ways of getting at these outside scales, the outside tonalities, are just that simple. They're a 5-1. If you do this enough, you find two things. One is that you no longer think about your alternate cadence. That's a way of getting us into it and getting us into it in a way that we can hear it. Because, you know, most of the lines, most of us can hear a bebop line like that. We can whistle it, but when we're outside the tonality, you know, the next one we're going to look at is E minor 6th, which has about as many wrong notes in it as you can have, but I can whistle the line because in my mind I have a simple cadence going. The other thing you're going to find when you get into this kind of outside playing is that you can't just play your shit. You can't just play your C minor stuff. And as you visit these other outside keys, I kind of have different information stored in my amygdala or wherever it is in different keys. The lines are different. The shapes are different. Things occur to me when I'm outside that aren't part of my normal vocabulary, and often the outside stuff fits under my fingers better than the inside stuff. The last lesson I did, I was talking about substituting all 12 pentatonics onto B minor. But, you know, if I can substitute some C minor stuff in there, you know, I've got loads of information waiting to deploy there. F minor is really great. I loved D minor when I was playing over the B minor pedal point. And again, I'm hearing B altered playing the D minor pentatonic as my scale for it to E7. Again, we're back in the key of B minor now. So the way that I recommend people practice this stuff, you can hear in the middle of these pentatonic scales, there's a lot of approach patterns. And I have been working with those things for so long that any one of them is available for me to deploy. A great way to get your head around pentatonic scales and integrating the approach patterns in to close it out, because all you have to do, no matter how far outside you've gotten yourself, an approach pattern back to a chord tone of C minor, and you sound like whatever strange odyssey you went on, you knew where you were the whole time. Dean Brown used to call it writing a check you couldn't cash. And I did so much playing with Dean and Chris Mingdoki and Dave Weckl, like probably 30, 40 tours with them. No matter how hard the check you've written is going to be to cash, close it out with an approach pattern and you sound like a boss. I recommend this. I'm playing 5 notes of the pentatonic scale. For some reason I'm playing B minor. Let's do it in C minor. Then you play the approach pattern to the same note you left off on. And since the pentatonic scale is a 5-note scale, it kind of automatically, as you go up, you're approaching a different note every time. And that sort of thing where we're starting to integrate these two really, you know, fundamental tools of jazz language in the middle of the line. Maybe you go, you know, start mixing up the 4 approach patterns. I have a lesson on approach patterns. It's called The 3 Best Notes in Jazz, I think, that covers that pretty thoroughly. But try integrating these into your playing. Again, hit the like, subscribe, and notify button, and there will be a link to my Patreon page where you can download a transcription of what I hope is a much more reasonable sounding, because usually I play these things at a super up-tempo. And you can also get the play-along track. So that's the lesson for today. We're going to do 4 more of these to address the other 8 pentatonic scales. Great ways to think about those as places to visit to stretch your harmonic boundaries when you're playing a pedal point. And I will see you for that one.
Let's play another. Yeah. That was a good one.